It's time to start One Piece. Hey everyone, welcome to Princess of Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with my blind reading of One Piece, Volume 1. Yeah, I've watched the anime for a long time now. I've seen the live action, I played a lot of the games, but I've never actually sat down and read the manga before. So I thought it might be a good idea to start that today. Just as a fun little additional thing on the channel. Eiichiro Oda's manga is known as one of the best in the world. It's outsold a lot of other comic books from around the world, American and otherwise. And I thought, since I have a physical copy of the first volume anyway, might as well give it a shot. I even figured, probably don't even need to do much in terms of editing and stuff here. Not much to show on screen, so, I mean, I can even read this without having to redirect anything. It's just a win-win in terms of the channel and in terms of getting things done. It doesn't even take that much time, I would feel. Like, I could probably blast through this thing in no time. So yeah. Obviously, I know the material, but the manga, I do know, has some slight differences than the anime. Certain things are uncensored, certain things are changed. That just happens whenever you have an adaptation of anything. So, I'm willing to give it a shot. And yeah, as always, we will split this into the pre-thoughts, the afterthoughts, all of that. But we will, I guess, have the reaction on YouTube this time. Which is different, not something we usually do, because usually we have to avoid copyright, but I guess we won't have that issue this time. Kind of weird to think about, but yeah. So, for this video, we're going to go into the reaction, and then we'll go into the afterthoughts. And, yeah, otherwise it'll mostly be the same. So, let's get this going and see how different the manga is. So, when this... Well, actually, the screen won't be fading to black. Well, I can still fade it to black. I can still fade it to black, fade it into the, reaction, and then fade it again into the afterthoughts. Excuse me. So when the screen fades to black, we will start the reaction portion of this video. I don't know how to do this. Usually I end off the pre-thoughts of this entire kind of thing. Yeah, we're just gonna fade it here and go from there. Okay. So we are ready to begin the reaction portion of this video to the first volume of the One Piece manga. Let us get this going. We're going to start right off the bat here with Chapter 1 and everything. So let's begin reading. Wacky kid. Kind of brave, though. Yeah, the art's really good. Is that like supposed to be how Yasop was drawn originally? I think it is, because he has the bandana and all. There's also so many other crew members we just don't know the names of here. It'd be interesting to get to know some of them later on. Like, who's this guy with the spade tattoo above his eyebrow? Well, there's Ben Beckman. And Machina. I like how the first panel that shows Ben has him in shadow, as if it's not just going to reveal what he looks like completely in the next panel. Also, the barrel of beer just says beer on it. That's funny. And there's Haguma the Bandit. One of the most underwhelming villains of One Piece. Like, this dude's just a turd. And he got Shanks all wet. It's never fun to be wet. Plus, it's probably sticky, too. Honestly. Ooh, 8 million berry bounty. You're so strong. Oh, and there's the arm stretch. Oh yeah, Lucky Roo pointed out the thing about the gum gum fruit and all originally. Even drew a picture of it, apparently. So that's a notable difference from the anime. Couple little scenes here that weren't shown in the anime as well. And here's the return of Haguma. Yeah, I don't think the anime showed Haguma swinging Luffy around by his cheek either. That's a new one, I believe. At least compared to the anime. But they did have Lucky Roo shooting this one bandit. That did definitely happen. Though it wasn't quite as bloody. It's like they make sure, Oda made sure in this that you knew that guy fucking died. Also, who's this loser in the back with just the skull and crossbones on his shirt? It's like, that's so bland and boring. That wasn't in the anime. Ben Beckman putting his cigarette out on a dude's face. That's pretty disrespectful. In a deserved way, but still. And they lost Luffy. Well, more accurately, Haguma kidnapped Luffy. And there's the Lord of the Coast. Yeah, there's a lot more blood in this, for sure, like with Shanks' missing arm. I think some of the, like, releases for this scene in the anime showed blood there. I mean, this scene's been done so much in the anime. And the hat scene. Which is a lot shorter and sudden compared to the anime, which builds it up a lot better. Okay, 10 years later, modern day. Luffy taking on the Lord of the Coast. Ooh, a double page spread. See, I feel like that kind of treatment should have been given to Shanks giving Luffy the hat, not the punch to the Lord of the Coast. Just a little character page showing Shanks, Rue, and Ben Beckman with Luffy, but not Yasopp. He's not even shown there. Interesting. And there's the Whirlpool. That ends with Chapter 1. So now we're going to move on to Chapter 2. And we start right away with the Miss Loveduck and Captain Alvida. I love how these early shots try to hide the fact that Alvida is fat. It's like, even the shadowy figured versions of her show her as thin. Like, you see, like, this shadow version of her, and it's literally thin. This small look at her face, all shadowed. It's thin. Her leg is thin. It's like Oda really wanted to hide that. But next page, yup, just pure Alvida. Oh, and there's a notable difference. They did in the anime. They hoisted the barrel up onto the ship. Here, that's washed up to sea while they're docked in an island. So that's a notable difference right there. They weren't actually out to sea when Luffy popped out of the barrel. Yeah, they're even amongst the trees at the moment. Luffy and Kobe even tried to build a boat. Unless that was just an extra boat they had around. Probably an extra, actually. It looks too well built for Luffy to have tried to build it. Unless Kobe's just really good at building boats. But yeah, they're in the middle of the forest talking, not like in the storage of the ship. I wonder why that was changed. And there's Alvida. You know, it's actually pretty funny. The anime actually made her, like, uglier. Here in the manga, she's actually not that, like, ugly. She's just fat. Also, Luffy's punch didn't send her flying away. It just knocked her out. So that's a notable difference, too. Okay, Chapter 3. Luffy and Kobe are now out at sea, heading towards Shellstown. And now they've arrived at Shellstown. That didn't take long. Got some food. And that's when they go see Zoro tied up. And there's Rika with her rice balls. Such a good girl. Offering Zoro some rice balls. And Helmeppo shows up. Yeah, some of these expressions were toned down a little bit in the anime. Specifically the one where he tries the rice balls. I think the sad Rika one was toned down a little bit too. Now Luffy talks to Zoro after Helmeppo's left. And of course, he tells Luffy to feed him the rice balls and tell Rika that they were good. Okay, looks like the backstory where Zoro saves her from Helmeppo's dog is like not really much in here at all. Seems like that was expanded for the anime. But Helmeppo does come along, and Luffy punches the shit out of him. Oh hey look, there's a page on how to draw the straw hat symbol. Which, for some reason, includes his hyper-realistic skull at one point. And our first look at Axe Hand Morgan. Brief look, but still. And our first real look at Axe Hand Morgan. When they're raising the statue and all. I think Morgan's a little buffer than he was in the anime, too. Also, again, with the blood and everything when Morgan cuts that guy down. And there's Luffy. And there goes the statue. Oh, he big mad. And some other Jolly Rogers shown here. Moving into the next chapter. Luffy dragging Helmeppo along, using him as a meat shield. Oh yeah, Kobe was actually shot here. So that's different. Kobe actually took a bullet trying to free Zoro. Oh shit, the Kuina flashback. That happens here. Okay, that's an interesting place for it. I mean, it was odd that it was placed at a super random time in the anime, but this is still kind of an odd time for it here. You know, just adding more swords haphazardly will not help you, dude. And suddenly Kuina's dead. Yeah, sorry, shooting Luffy's not gonna work. By the way, the flashback's over. On to the next chapter. The Marines take on Luffy and Zoro. Zoro's free and ready to cut people down while serving Luffy as his new captain. Okay, that's a cool full page spread. Luffy using the Gum Whip while Zoro ducks under it. Take down some enemies. But Morgan has entered the fight. Showing a little more of what his axe can do, slicing things apart like that. But Luffy is kicking his ass at every turn. Oh, and there's the part where Helmeppo points a gun at Kobe. Luffy punches Helmeppo, Zoro slices up Morgan. All is good in the world. On to what is probably the final chapter of this volume. Hey, everybody's happy, and Luffy and Zoro get food. God, the pacing of this is just weird in this. Everything just goes by so quickly. Like, it's really fastly paced. Definitely prefer the anime in that regard. It makes it feel more natural with the pacing. And there's a nice shot of Kobe punching Luffy. And Luffy returning the favor. And Kobe is accepted into the Marines. Oh no, there is one more chapter left. Okay. Looks like it's going to be a short one. But it's Luffy and Zoro at sea. And there's the bird. And there's the buggy pirates. Yeah, Zoro's not taking any shit. Okay, and we see the flashback with Nami right after they meet Zoro. Which plays out pretty much exactly the same in the anime. Buggy's ship is just silly. Luffy lands in Orange Town. Nami sees him. Pretends that he's her boss. And Volume 1 ends with Nami offering to make a deal with Luffy. Okay. So, we're going to fade again and go to the afterthoughts. Okay, and so this was Volume 1 of One Piece. There's quite a few differences from the anime in here, but that's just to be expected. There's going to be a lot of things that are just different. There's going to be a lot of things that are switched around. And a lot of the content is obviously in the manga going to be bloodier, more violent, more intense. There's going to be certain detail that the anime left out because of adaptation and whatnot. And that's just expected. You're able to do a lot more with, like, just static drawings in that regard. But, on the other hand, the anime is able to do a lot more with, obviously, sound, voice. Certain scenes are done a little better in the anime. The pacing is exceptionally better in the anime. And just overall, I think the anime is better. But there's one thing of, like, note with the manga that I really want to point out here. I can't read Japanese. April Fools, everyone. My thoughts on the anime being better are real though. Like that's genuine. But yeah, this is a Japanese manga. I got this at a convention, actually. It is entirely in Japanese. I haven't been reading shit. I've just been looking at the pictures. I know what's said and everything, but yeah. Yeah, this is just an April Fool's video. I thought this would be a fun one to do this year. Hope you enjoyed. And for now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.